In the quiet moments before dawn, when the sea's whispers are the only sound, you can almost feel the presence of the ancient world, a world where gods and mortals shared the same stage. It is in this timeless realm that the story of Odysseus unfolds, a tale woven into the very fabric of Greek myth and memory. As the first light touches the shores of Troy, the city lies in the gentle embrace of the morning mist, its walls silent witnesses to the fierce battles that once raged there. It is from this storied land, now at peace with the echoes of heroism, that Odysseus begins his fateful journey home. Amidst the lingering scent of burnt offerings and the distant hum of the Aegean waves, Odysseus, the cunning king of Ithaca, stands at the helm of his ship. He is a figure etched in resilience, his heart set on returning to the rugged isle where Penelope, his faithful wife, and Telemachus, his growing son, await his return. The sea, vast and unpredictable, stretches out before him, promising both adventure and peril. It is a journey not merely across distances, but through the very essence of the human spirit, a quest for home, identity, and the enduring ties of family. As the sails catch the morning breeze, the ships drift away from the ruins of Troy, each one a vessel of hopes and dreams. The men aboard are weary yet hopeful, their minds filled with thoughts of their loved ones and the familiar landscapes of Greece. But the gods, ever capricious, have woven a different fate for Odysseus and his companions. For in the shadowy halls of Olympus, where divine laughter mingles with the scent of ambrosia, the threads of destiny are spun with a complexity only the gods can fathom. And so, the journey begins, with the azure waters glistening under the sun's first rays. The sea is a living entity, its moods as changeable as the gods themselves. It is here, amidst the ceaseless rhythm of the waves, that Odysseus encounters the first of many trials. Driven off course by the whims of divine forces, the ships find themselves at the shores of the land of the Lotus Eaters, a place where time seems to stand still, and the air is thick with the sweet scent of the lotus flower. The island's inhabitants, serene and detached from the world, offer the blossoms to Odysseus's men, and those who partake fall into a languid forgetfulness, their memories of home slipping away like grains of sand through fingers. Yet Odysseus, ever vigilant and wise, sees the danger in this dreamlike existence. With gentle firmness, he rouses his men from their stupor, reminding them of the journey that lies ahead, rekindling their desire for the homeland they so dearly miss. Slowly, they leave behind the temptations of the lotus, the sails filling once more with the promise of the wind. Their voyage continues, and the sea with its endless horizons becomes both companion and adversary. The sun casts its golden glow upon the waves, and the nights are filled with the songs of the stars, a celestial symphony that guides them onward. It is during one such night, under the watchful gaze of the constellations, that they find themselves drawn to the island of the Cyclopes, a land shrouded in mystery and legend. Here, in the shadow of towering cliffs, lies the cave of Polyphemus, a giant with a single eye and a disposition as wild as the landscape he inhabits. Within the dim, flickering light of the cave, Odysseus and his men find themselves trapped, the heavy stone at the entrance sealing their fate. Yet even in the face of such a formidable foe, Odysseus's mind remains sharp and unyielding. With a plan as intricate as the threads of the fates, he devises a way to escape, blinding the Cyclops and slipping away beneath the cover of sheep's wool, the cries of the creature echoing across the rocky terrain. The sea once more becomes their refuge, and the ships glide on, propelled by the determination of their captain. But the journey is far from over, and the path to Ithaca is fraught with challenges that test the very core of Odysseus's being. From the tempestuous wrath of Poseidon, intent on vengeance for his son's injury, to the alluring songs of the sirens, whose melodies promise knowledge yet conceal destruction, each trial is a testament to the hero's resilience and ingenuity. As the sun rises and sets, casting its warm glow over the ever-changing seascape, you can almost hear the distant calls of the sirens, their voices carried on the breeze like whispers from a forgotten world. Odysseus, with his unwavering resolve, commands his men to plug their ears with beeswax, and binds himself to the mast, a figure of steadfast courage amidst the seductive allure of the unknown. Through these myriad challenges, the hero's journey is not one of solitude, but of shared trials and triumphs. His men, though weary and longing for the comforts of home, stand beside him, their faith in their leader as enduring as the stars that guide their way. Together, they navigate the treacherous waters of Scylla and Charybdis, the monstrous threats that guard the strait between Sicily and Italy, their courage a beacon amidst the swirling maelstrom. In those quiet hours, as the sea reflects the moon's gentle light, you might imagine the thoughts that fill Odysseus's mind, a mosaic of memories, hopes, and dreams of the life that awaits him. He is a man tested by the gods, his journey an epic tapestry of heroism and humanity. Each island, each encounter, is a chapter in his saga, a story that resonates through the ages, reminding us of the enduring power of courage and the indomitable spirit of those who dare to dream. And so, the journey continues, a slow and steady passage through the heart of the ancient world, where myths come to life and the boundaries between gods and men blur like the horizon at dusk. As the ships press onward, the promise of Ithaca, with its olive groves and familiar shores, draws them ever closer, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. In the gentle glow of dawn, the Aegean Sea lay stretched out like a vast, shimmering tapestry, its surface kissed by the first light of morning. The voyage of Odysseus, a journey both arduous and wondrous, unfolded against this eternal backdrop. As you imagine this scene, perhaps you can hear the faint whisper of waves lapping against the hull of his ship, the rhythmic creak of the wooden masts swaying with the wind, and the soft murmur of the crew as they begin their daily tasks. Each day on the wine-dark sea followed a rhythm as ancient and enduring as the tides themselves. Odysseus, the wily king of Ithaca, rose with the sun, his thoughts often turning to the home he longed to see once more. His heart ached for the olive groves and the familiar hills of his distant island, yet he knew that each day brought him incrementally closer to his beloved Ithaca. And so, with a heart both weary and hopeful, he joined his men in their morning rituals. In those early hours, the crew gathered on the deck, their faces etched with the marks of their trials, yet brightened by the promise of another day. They broke their fast with simple fare, bread hardened by the sea air, olives preserved from more hospitable shores, and wine diluted with fresh water, a gift from sympathetic islanders or wrested from the bounty of former adversaries. As they shared this humble meal, the men spoke in low voices, recounting tales of courage and folly, weaving their own stories into the grander tapestry of their shared Odyssey. With the sun climbing higher, the oarsmen took their places, muscles taut and ready to propel their vessel forward through the azure waters. Their strokes rose and fell in a measured cadence, a dance of sinew and strength that propelled them onward. The sail, when the winds were favorable, billowed with the breath of the gods, its canvas a beacon of hope against the vast expanse of sky. Odysseus, ever watchful, stood at the helm, his eyes scanning the horizon for signs of land or looming peril. He was a man of cunning, known for his ability to navigate both the physical seas and the treacherous waters of human nature. His mind, sharp and restless, weighed each decision with careful deliberation, ever mindful of the safety of his crew and the fulfillment of his destiny. As the day unfolded, the sun arced across the sky, casting long shadows over the ship. The men labored under its heat, their skin bronzed by the sun's relentless gaze. Yet even in toil, there was a camaraderie, a shared understanding that bound them together in their quest. They sang songs of old, their voices rising in harmony with the wind, lifting their spirits as they journeyed through the unknown. When the sea was calm and the winds gentle, the crew found moments of respite. They would mend their sails or repair their gear, hands deftly weaving the fibers of their survival. Some would cast lines into the depths, hoping to coax a fish from the unseen world beneath, a gift from the sea that would sustain them another day. The afternoons often brought a languid stillness, the sun's warmth coaxing the men into a drowsy reverie. In these moments, Odysseus would retreat into his thoughts, the memories of past exploits mingling with dreams of Ithaca, where Penelope and Telemachus awaited his return. His heart, a sea of its own, swirled with love and longing, duty and desire. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, the crew's labors would ease, and preparations for the evening would begin. Fires were kindled, their flickering light a beacon in the encroaching darkness, and the aroma of cooking rose to mingle with the salt air. The men gathered once more, sharing stories and laughter, finding solace in the company of one another. The nights on the open sea were a time of reflection and vigilance. Under the vast canopy of stars, Odysseus would ponder the gods and their whims, the celestial bodies above serving as both guide and mystery. The night air was cool, a gentle balm to the day's exertions, and the sounds of the sea became a lullaby that carried them toward dreams. In those quiet hours, watchmen kept their vigil, eyes trained on the horizon for signs of danger or delight. The distant call of a seabird might reach them, mingling with the whispers of the breeze, a reminder of lands both lost and yet to be discovered. The night was a canvas, painted with the hopes and fears of those who sailed beneath its watchful gaze. Slowly, as the moon traced its path across the sky, the crew would find rest, cradled in the rocking embrace of the sea. Each man, wrapped in his cloak, would drift into sleep, dreams interwoven with the songs of sirens and the roar of distant storms. And Odysseus, ever the vigilant leader, would let his eyes close for but a moment, trusting in the strength and loyalty of his men. Thus, the days and nights blended into one another, a seamless continuum of endurance and hope, a testament to the human spirit's resilience and the eternal quest for home. The journey of Odysseus was more than a mere voyage. It was a passage through the very heart of myth and man, an Odyssey that spoke to the soul of what it meant to strive, to endure, and ultimately to return. And so, as the stars faded into the pale light of dawn once more, the cycle began anew. The ship sailing ever onward through the ancient seas, a small vessel upon the endless expanse, driven by the dreams and desires of those who dared to dream beneath the eternal sky. In the gentle embrace of ancient Greece, where the whispering winds carry tales as old as time itself, we find ourselves drawn into the epic journey of Odysseus, as captured in the timeless verses of Homer's Odyssey. It is a world where the shimmering sea stretches endlessly, its surface a dance of sunlight and shadow, a living tapestry of blue and silver. The air is thick with the salt of the ocean, mingling with the fragrant scent of wild thyme and olive, creating an aroma that speaks of both land and sea, a reminder of the dual nature of Odysseus's Odyssey. From the ruins of Troy, where echoes of the Great War linger like a distant dream, Odysseus sets forth on his long voyage home to Ithaca. The journey is not just one of miles, but of moments, each filled with the rich tapestry of sensory experience. As his ship glides over the wine-dark sea, you might imagine the gentle creak of timbers and the rhythmic splash of oars, the sound a steady heartbeat beneath the eternal sky. In the quiet moments, as the sun dips below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the endless waters, the sailors might gaze upon the stars that seem to hang low, brilliant in the velvet night. These celestial guides, ancient and unchanging, offer both direction and comfort, their constellations telling stories of gods and heroes to those who know how to listen. The air grows cool, carrying with it the faint, distant calls of seabirds settling for the night, a lullaby to accompany the sailors' dreams. As Odysseus's ship cuts through the sea, they pass by islands that rise from the water like mythical beasts, each shrouded in mystery and legend. The cries of the sirens, seductive and mournful, drift across the waves, weaving a melody that speaks to the innermost desires of the heart. But Odysseus, wise and wary, fills his ears with beeswax and orders his men to bind him to the mast, thus resisting the pull of their enchanting song. The sheer cliffs of these islands stand silent witnesses to their passage, majestic and eternal. In those tranquil moments when the sea is calm, the men on board might find solace in the simple acts of daily life. A meal shared under the open sky, the The taste of dried fish and barley bread, accompanied by a flask of dark, rich wine, brings a fleeting sense of home. The fire crackles softly, casting a warm glow that flickers across weathered faces and worn hands. Quiet conversations drift, mingling with the sound of the sea, speaking of family, of hope, of the land they long to see again. As they journey onward, they find themselves enveloped in the mysterious mists of the island of Aea, home to the enchantress Circe. The forest here is thick and lush, filled with the rustle of unseen creatures and the sweet, intoxicating scent of strange flowers. The air is heavy with the promise of enchantment, a place where reality and illusion blur like the shifting patterns of sunlight through the leaves. Odysseus, cautious and brave, treads lightly, his senses heightened, as he seeks to unravel the mysteries that lie within this magical realm. The journey takes them next to the shadowed realm of the dead, the underworld where souls linger in a twilight of memory. It is a place where the air is cool and still, the ground beneath their feet worn smooth by centuries of passing shades. Here the scent of incense wafts through the air, a reminder of the rituals that bind the living to the departed. Odysseus, guided by the whispers of the spirits, learns the secrets of his fate, gaining knowledge that is both a burden and a gift. Emerging from the underworld, the ship sails onward, past the rocky straits where Scylla and Charybdis lie in wait, their presence felt in the churning waters and the echoing roar of the waves. The sea here is alive with danger, a living testament to the capricious nature of the gods. Yet even amidst such peril, there is a beauty to be found in the raw power of the ocean, in the way the sunlight dances upon the spray, in the strength of the ship as it weathers each challenge with grace. And so the journey continues, through lands where the sun burns bright upon the sand, where the air is filled with the hum of insects and the distant laughter of nymphs, to the lush island of the Phaeacians. Here the sound of music drifts on the breeze, a symphony of lyres and pipes that speaks of joy and hospitality. The people of this land welcome Odysseus with open arms, offering him rest and respite, a moment of peace amidst the trials of his journey. It is a world of contrasts, where the beauty of the natural world stands in stark relief against the trials and tribulations that Odysseus must face. The gentle rustle of leaves in a grove of olive trees, the sun-warmed stones beneath his feet, the taste of honeyed figs, all these things ground him in the present, even as his thoughts turn ever toward Ithaca and the home that waits for him across the vast expanse of the sea. In the quiet hours of night, as the ship sails steadily onward, the gentle murmur of the sea a constant companion, one can imagine Odysseus standing at the prow, his gaze fixed upon the horizon. The stars wheel above, their light a timeless guide, as the wind carries him ever closer to home. The journey is long, and the path fraught with challenges, but each moment brings him a step nearer to the shores of Ithaca, where the olive trees whisper tales of his return, and the hearth fire burns bright, a beacon of welcome in the night. Slowly, the journey unfolds, a tapestry of experience woven from the threads of adventure and longing, of the trials that test the heart and the moments of quiet beauty that sustain the spirit. It is a journey that speaks to the enduring power of hope and the unyielding strength of the human soul, a testament to the timeless nature of Homer's epic tale. And so, in the gentle embrace of the ancient world, Odysseus sails onward, his heart ever reaching for the distant shores of home. In the gentle twilight of ancient Greece, when the sun dipped low and shadows stretched across the land, there was a world full of stories, of heroes and gods, of sea voyages and whispered tales. Among these, the Odyssey stands as a quiet testament to the enduring human spirit, a tale woven by the bard Homer of the long journey home undertaken by the wily Odysseus after the great war at Troy. His voyage, spanning 10 long years, was not just a test of survival, but a deep exploration of the customs and lives of the myriad peoples he encountered along the way. As you imagine this ancient world, picture yourself amidst the bustling port of Troy, where the air is thick with the scent of salt and the smoke of distant fires. The sea, a vast expanse of blue, lies before you, promising both adventure and peril. The ships, with their wide sails and sturdy hulls, are ready to set forth, their crews eager yet unaware of the long Odyssey that awaits them. It is from here that Odysseus embarks, leaving behind the echoes of war to seek the familiar shores of Ithaca, where his heart yearns to return. In those early days of travel, life aboard the ship is a tapestry of routine and camaraderie. The men rise with the sun, their bodies swaying to the rhythm of the waves, their hands calloused from the rough wood of the oars. They sing songs of their homeland, their voices mingling with the cries of the gulls overhead. Meals are simple affairs, shared in the open air under the watchful gaze of the gods. Bread, olives, and fish caught fresh from the sea sustain them, each bite a reminder of home and the loved ones who await their return. Yet it is not only the familiar that defines Odysseus's journey. As days turn into months, the winds guide them to strange and wondrous lands, each with its own customs and ways of life. On the island of the Lotus Eaters, time seems to slow, and the air is filled with a languid sweetness. Here the inhabitants live in a dreamlike state, content and untroubled by the passage of time. They offer Odysseus and his men the lotus fruit, a gift that brings forgetfulness and a dangerous peace. It is a place where the siren call of contentment must be resisted, where memory and purpose must prevail over ease. Further on, the island of the Cyclopes presents a stark contrast. Under the shadow of towering cliffs, the land is rugged and untamed. The Cyclopes themselves, one-eyed giants of great strength, live solitary lives, tending their flocks and caring little for the ways of other men. Their homes are simple caves, and their hospitality is as rough as the stones that surround them. In this land, Odysseus's cleverness is both his shield and his tool, enabling him to outwit the formidable Polyphemus, whose wrath is as mighty as the crashing waves. Across the sea, the kingdom of Aeolus, keeper of the winds, offers a momentary respite. Here, the air is fragrant with the scent of spices, and the people live in harmony with the forces of nature. Aeolus himself, a wise and generous host, presents Odysseus with a leather bag containing the winds that might guide them safely home. In this place, the exchange of gifts is a sacred ritual, a bond forged between guest and host that transcends mere words. But the sea god Poseidon, ever watchful and vengeful, ensures that peace is fleeting. When the winds are unleashed unwisely, the ship is driven once more into the vast unknown. And so, the journey continues, each island a new chapter in the unfolding saga. On the shores of Aeaea, the enchantress Circe weaves her spells, her island a realm of magic and transformation. Here the senses are heightened, the very air shimmering with enchantment. Circe's halls are filled with the flickering light of candles and the rich aroma of incense. Her knowledge of potions and herbs is unmatched, and her hospitality is both a lure and a lesson. Under her care, Odysseus learns of the delicate balance between trust and caution, between the seen and unseen realms. As the voyage progresses, the crew finds themselves drawn into the underworld, a place where the veil between the living and the dead is thin. Here, amidst the shadows and whispers of lost souls, Odysseus seeks the counsel of the blind prophet Tiresias. The air is thick with the scent of earth and smoke, and the boundaries of life and death blur in this sacred and solemn space. It is a land of reflection and revelation, where the past is laid bare and the future is glimpsed through the mists of prophecy. Emerging from the depths, the journey continues through the treacherous straits of Scylla and Charybdis, where the sea narrows and the rocks loom like ancient sentinels. The roar of the whirlpool and the cries of the unseen monster echo in the men's ears, a reminder of the fragility of life and the courage required to navigate its hazards. In these moments, Odysseus's leadership, forged in the fires of experience, shines as a beacon to his weary crew. And so, the Odyssey unfolds, a tapestry of encounters and experiences, each one adding to the rich fabric of Odysseus's journey. Through it all, the customs and lives of the people he meets offer a window into the vibrant diversity of the ancient world. From the distant shores of the Phoenicians, with their bustling markets and the scent of exotic spices, to the simple pastoral life of the Phaeacians, where hospitality and storytelling are the heart of social life. Each stop along the way is a reminder of the interconnectedness of all peoples and the shared human desire for home and belonging. In those quiet hours of twilight, as the ship sails ever onward, one might imagine the gentle murmur of the waves, the soft rustle of the sails, and the distant call of the night birds. The journey is both an outward exploration and an inward journey, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of cunning and courage, and the enduring hope for reunion with those we hold dear. As the shores of Ithaca finally come into view, the air is filled with the scent of olive groves and the soft hum of cicadas. The island, bathed in the golden light of dawn, stands as a symbol of the journey's end and the promise of new beginnings. Here, in the embrace of familiar earth, the Odyssey finds its quiet conclusion, a story that echoes through the ages, inviting us to reflect on our own journeys and the paths that lead us home. In those quiet moments, when the sun begins its gentle descent toward the horizon, casting the Aegean Sea in hues of soft gold and pale violet, we find ourselves drifting alongside the fabled ship of Odysseus. The long shadows stretch across the deck, where the crew, weary from their endless journey, find solace in the rhythmic lapping of the waves against the wooden hull. You might imagine the scent of the sea, mingling with the salt in the air, a constant companion on this odyssey through time and myth. It is during these tranquil hours that the legendary hero, Odysseus, often finds a moment to himself, away from the demands of leadership and the burdens of his own restless mind. He stands at the prow, gazing out over the vast expanse of water, where the line between sea and sky blurs into a seamless tapestry of blue and gold. The gentle rocking of the ship is a lullaby, and in that quietude, his thoughts wander back to the land he longs to see once more, the rugged shores of Ithaca, where his beloved Penelope and son Telemachus await his return. Yet the path homeward is fraught with trials and enchantments, each island they encounter holding its own mysteries and challenges. In these moments of reflection, Odysseus remembers the land of the lotus eaters, where the air was sweet with the perfumed scent of flowers, and the allure of forgetfulness was a tempting balm to his weary soul. The gentle murmur of the crew as they recount tales of that place echoes softly in the dusk, each voice a thread in the tapestry of their shared journey. The sea is a constant presence, both friend and foe, its vastness a reminder of the gods' capricious nature. It is here, amidst the gentle swells and the whisper of the wind, that the crew finds time to mend their nets, to tend to the sails, and to share stories beneath the canopy of the stars. The constellations above are familiar companions, guiding them through the night, their flickering light a distant echo of the divine. As the night deepens, the air becomes cool, and the sound of the distant waves provides a soothing backdrop to the tales of old. You might hear the faint strains of a lyre, its notes weaving through the night air, as one of the sailors sings of home and hearth, of the olive trees and the distant fields of Ithaca. The song is a balm to their spirits, a reminder of the land they seek, and the bonds of friendship forged through shared trials and triumphs. With the dawn comes the promise of new beginnings, the light spreading over the sea like a gentle caress, awakening the world from its slumber. In these early hours, as the mists rise from the water, Odysseus contemplates the wisdom of the seer Tiresias, whose prophecies guide his every decision. The memory of the underworld, with its shadows and whispers, lingers in his mind, a reminder of the journey still to come and the choices yet to be made. The island of Circe is one such memory, where the air was filled with the scent of incense and the soft rustle of leaves in the enchanted forest. The enchantress herself, with her beguiling gaze and the promise of comfort, offered a respite from the relentless voyage. It was in her halls, under the flickering light of torches, that Odysseus learned the art of patience and cunning, skills that would serve him well in the trials that lay ahead. And so, the journey continues, each day a step closer to Ithaca, each moment a reflection of the hero's enduring spirit. The crew, bound together by loyalty and shared purpose, find strength in their unity, their laughter and camaraderie a beacon in the vast expanse of the unknown. The gentle creaking of the ship's timbers and the soft rustle of the sails are a constant reminder of their voyage, a symphony of the sea that accompanies their every move. In the quiet hours of night, as the moon casts its silver light over the water, Odysseus dreams of home, of the familiar paths and the warm embrace of family. These dreams are a comfort, a guiding star that lights his way through the darkness. And as the ship sails onward, driven by the steady hands of his loyal crew, the promise of Ithaca grows ever closer, a distant shore waiting to welcome them back. The journey of Odysseus is one of trials and triumphs, of quiet moments and epic adventures, each a testament to the enduring human spirit and the timeless quest for home. As the ship sails through the endless sea, the gentle rhythm of the waves lulls the crew into slumber, their dreams filled with the promise of the land they long to see once more. And so the story continues, a tale woven through time, a journey that echoes in the hearts of all who seek their own Ithaca, their own place of belonging in the world. As the pale light of dawn gently brushed the sky above the tranquil shores of Ithaca, Odysseus finally found himself standing upon the familiar sands of his homeland. The journey, woven with trials and timeless wanderings, had brought him full circle. The air was thick with the scent of salt and seaweed, mingling with the earthy fragrance of the land he had longed to see for so many years. The gentle lapping of waves against the rocks created a soothing rhythm, a melody of homecoming that seemed to echo the beating of his heart. In the soft, golden glow of morning, Ithaca lay before him, a landscape both unchanged and yet subtly altered by the passage of time. The olive trees stood as silent sentinels, their silver leaves whispering secrets of the past and promises of the future. The hills rolled gently into the distance, a tapestry of greens and browns stitched with paths he had known so well in his youth. And as he stood there, feeling the solid earth beneath his feet, Odysseus allowed himself a moment of quiet reflection, a pause to honor the journey that had tested his spirit and fortified his soul. The memories of his travels floated through his mind like distant clouds. He recalled the tempestuous seas that had tossed his ship with wild abandon, the enchanting song of the sirens that had lured him to the brink of oblivion, the shadowed halls of the underworld where he had sought wisdom from the shades of the departed. He remembered the towering form of the Cyclops, Polyphemus, whose wrath had nearly extinguished the hope of his return, and the cunning he had employed to escape that dire fate. Each trial had etched itself into the fabric of his being, a testament to resilience and the unyielding desire to return to those he loved. And so, with the soft rustle of leaves and the gentle murmur of the sea as his companions, Odysseus began to walk towards the familiar paths of his youth. The sun climbed steadily, casting its warm embrace over the island, illuminating the path that led to his home. As he approached the humble dwelling, a sense of calm anticipation filled the air, an unspoken understanding that this moment was both an ending and a beginning. Within the modest walls of his home, Penelope, his steadfast wife, wove her tapestry, her hands moving with a practiced grace that belied the years of waiting and uncertainty. Her heart, however, sensed a change, as if the air itself carried a whisper of his return. And when their eyes finally met, the world seemed to hold its breath as time slowed to a gentle halt. No words were needed in that sacred exchange. The depth of their bond was beyond the reach of language. Their reunion was a quiet affair, a delicate weaving of presence and absence, of joy and sorrow, of dreams and reality. The years apart had only served to deepen their connection, a testament to love's enduring strength. Together they stood in the soft light of their home, the shadows of the past gently receding as the promise of the future unfolded before them. And so peace returned to the heart of Odysseus, a peace hard-won and deeply cherished. His journey, marked by both the fury of the gods and the kindness of strangers, had shaped him into a man who understood the profound value of home. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the island, he knew that the trials he had faced were but stepping stones on the path to this moment, a journey that had brought him to a place of quiet contentment. In those serene hours, as the stars began to twinkle in the vast canopy above, Odysseus found solace in the simple joys of life. The laughter of his son Telemachus rang through the halls, a sound sweeter than any siren's call. The fragrance of freshly baked bread mingled with the evening air, a humble feast shared with those who had awaited his return with unwavering faith. And as night descended gently upon Ithaca, a cloak of darkness adorned with celestial jewels, Odysseus knew that his tale had woven itself into the tapestry of legend. His story, passed down through the ages, would inspire countless generations, a testament to the enduring human spirit and the timeless quest for home. Thus, in the quiet embrace of the night, with the whispering wind and the rhythmic pulse of the sea as his lullaby, Odysseus rested, content in the knowledge that his journey had brought him full circle. His heart, at last, was at peace, cradled by the land he loved, beneath the watchful gaze of the ancient stars.